The stars of Trans Am racing are out in force at Lime Rock Park in Connecticut. Sign right here, young fella. It's been a great season so far in Trans Am 2. Today, TA2 gets its own feature event. The three-dimensional services muscle car challenge. Will it be a veteran or a young gun who goes to victory lane? We'll find out next. Muscle up! Welcome to Lime Rock Park. We're in Lakeville, Connecticut for Trans Am, America's road racing series. Today, it's the three-dimensional services muscle car challenge. Hello again, everyone. I'm Rick Benjamin. NASCAR star Michael McDowell will join me for the call in just a moment. Shea Adam has our coverage today down on pit road. Trans Am 2 is the focus here at Lime Rock Park. Once again, Trans Am with so many entries that TA2 gets its separate 100-mile race, and we'll have coverage of that for you today. So far this season, TA2, lots of action there, has been a Cameron Lawrence benefit. He's been unbeaten so far through the event at Road Atlanta a couple of weeks ago. Can he keep the streak alive? We'll find out. But there are a couple of dozen TA2 race cars and drivers anxious to put an end to that winning streak. Let's find out more of what's happened in the paddock so far today. Let's go to Shea.
The most popular guy on the grid today, arguably, is Adam Andretti. Adam, there's a whole line of people around waiting to get your autograph. It must make you feel pretty good. And, oh yeah, starting from the pole.
Both those things really make you feel good. Obviously, we're out here to race not for ourselves, but for these great fans. So when you get a group of these great fans around you and they're interested in you and what you're doing, it's definitely humbling and a wonderful experience. And pole position is always the best way to start the weekend. You're under a lot of pressure to finish it that way, but it's always the best way to start it.
Adam Andretti always quick. We'll see if he can get to victory lane today. Welcome to Lime Rock Park in scenic Northwest Connecticut. Alongside Michael McDowell, I'm Rick Benjamin. This is a beautiful racetrack. It ought to be quite a challenge for the TA2 stars, Michael. Andretti, Kevin Poitras on the front row.
And this is not the first time we've seen Adam Andretti on the pole. Very quick early on in this race, but Cameron Lawrence knows how to get to victory lane. Can somebody stop him today?
Young J.J. Haley, who's running an ARCA Series schedule this year, a NASCAR K&N Series schedule, and Trans Am, will line up fourth. Guy Robinson back in row 5 didn't qualify very well.
You know, it's a racetrack where you can make passes, you can make up time, but it's very high risk. It's very tight, very twisty. You got to make calculated moves.
23 cars will take the green, sprinkled between Camaros, Mustangs, and a couple of Dodge Challengers. That's Guy Robinson's Chevrolet Camaro. They're 500 horsepower tube chassis. These are great race cars.
Oh, they're so much fun to watch. The bias ply tires, they squeal, they slide. These cars are out of control, but these races are great.
Adam Andretti on the pole with that Mustang. Second time out for him in the ECC 44. There's the 24, Dylan McCavern from Vermont. He's been a strong contender the last couple of races. We've seen the starting lineup. Andretti, there's Lawrence, uncharacteristically not starting on the front row.
But we know Cameron Lawrence knows how to get to victory lane.
Does J.J. Haley know how to get there? He's a young gun in that Brawn Ability Chevrolet. Shea spoke to him earlier about coming to Trans Am.
J.J. Haley, welcome to the Trans Am Series. You normally race in the K&N Pro Series, so what is it about Trans Am that you said, yeah, I want to come and try that?
My uncle asked me if I wanted to come run the Trans Am Series to get a little practice for the road course races that NASCAR has later in the year with the Pro Series at Watkins Glen and VIR. I had no previous road course experience, so just came over here to get a little experience, and I happened to like it, so we added a few more races on, and I'm enjoying it.
Great poised young man, being very successful here in the early going in his maiden Trans Am season. Driving that 99 car, his spotter and driving coach is Michael Self. JJ hasn't been feeling well so far this weekend. Let's listen in as Michael talks to his young driver.
You've done an awesome job so far. I mean, seriously, really couldn't be prouder of how you've done so far. I mean that, I don't say that a whole lot, but we just got to do what you've done in practice. I mean, I think we got a real good long run car. We just got to, keep it underneath you. And some of these guys go real hard at the beginning. You just need to kind of settle in, and we'll pick them off.
How amazing is that to have a veteran like Michael Self walking J.J. Haley through the start, through the race, and it just gives you confidence. And it's really important at a young age to have that confidence going in against these veteran drivers as we come to the green flag here at Lime Rock Park.
Shane Lewis, speaking of veteran drivers in the 74 Ranch Resort Chevrolet outside row 4. Safety car dives for pit road. Front row of Adam Andretti and Kevin Poitras taking the green flag. 100 miles of Trans Am 2 action at Lime Rock Park. Here comes Cameron Lawrence dive bombing into turn 1.
And this is something we don't see out of Cameron Lawrence very often, being very aggressive in the first lap of the first corner.
Looked like trouble there a moment for his teammate in the lime green Dodge, but Joe Thomas able to keep that car straight. Lawrence grabbing the lead as Andretti has to tuck in behind.
And Andretti gave him a little bit of a tap there, pushing very hard on this first opening lap.
Heading up the hill through the S's at this mile-and-a-half short track of road course racing. Lawrence on the brakes in the one car, already a couple of car lengths to the good.
This is a short track of road courses. Your arms are up, you're swinging these cars around, coming down the hill, sliding. This is one of the greatest road courses we go to in North America.
Lawrence, your leader, Andretti in second. Poitras on the front row has to tuck into third. Tony Ave, haven't spoken about the former Trans Am champion much yet in that 70 car, slotting into fourth, and here's Andretti trying to retake the lead.
And Adam Andretti was deep on the brakes into turn 1 to pull off that pass.
Inside out move though, Lawrence on the bottom side trying to get back into the point.
I don't think somebody's let these guys know that this is a 100-mile race. This is very early on and they are battling intense.
We think of 100 mile, and contact there. Lawrence puts the bumper to Adam Andretti.
There's not a lot of room here at Lime Rock Park. It's very narrow, so when you're pulling off those passes, very easy to make contact.
Headed up the hill here at Lime Rock Park, working lap number 2. Poitras sliding into third in front of Tony Ave. Dylan McCavern picking up a couple of spots in the 24 early on. He moves up into the 5th position as they drop down the hill.
Such a cool shot to see the cars coming down the hill. They load up, they compress so fast. It's a very tricky, very fast corner, and we see a lot of racing action here as Cameron Lawrence is protecting that second spot.
Poitras alongside him, though, challenging for the runner-up spot in his Mustang, the 73. Ave watching in 4th spot, McCavern in 5th. J.J. Haley back there. Good side-by-side racing here. And Poitras takes second away from Cameron Lawrence. Lawrence in an unusual position, dropping to third after leading in the early going. All right, let's take our first time out of the afternoon here at Lime Rock Park.
Trans Am Racing on CBS Sports Network is being brought to you by 3-Dimensional Services Group. Prototype, production, proven.
On board with Cameron Lawrence, sitting in 3rd spot in his Dodge Challenger with the Hemi power, nice and smooth behind the wheel. Let's check in on Tony Ave's machine, running 4th in that 70 car, the Evan Motorsports Ford Mustang, the former Trans Am champion. Enjoying, I think, his time just as a driver for this team.
Well, Tony Ave built a lot of race cars, not just in the TA2 category, but in the TA category, TA3. But he is a race car driver at heart, a veteran in the Trans Am Series. And by the end of this race, I look for him to be challenging for a win.
Onto the Sam Posey front stretch here at Lime Rock Park, newly named for our old friend and broadcast colleague who lives nearby here in Lakeville, Connecticut. Andretti and Poitras opening up a dozen car lengths over Lawrence, Ave, and then McCavern in the 24. Haley is 6th in the 99. The 74 of Gar Robinson, the 72 of Shane Lewis next in line.
And this is something that we haven't seen this year. We got 2 Ford Mustangs up front, pulling away from that Dodge Challenger. Cameron Lawrence has been so dominant the first quarter of this season. To see those Ford Mustangs out front has got to make him nervous.
And Gar Robinson out of San Antonio, Texas, the upshift there as he rides behind Haley with that Willwood Brakes rookie stripe on the back bumper of the 99 car. Haley, unfortunately, won't get to run the balance of the Trans Am season, at least most of it. He'll move into his full-time stock car schedule. He'll make some NASCAR Truck Series starts, some NASCAR K&N Pro starts, and some ARCA Series starts as we work through the summer months. But JJ says, hey, I love this series. I'll be back in the fall. Andretti continuing to lead Poitras as we work lap 9. Adam Andretti in that Mustang body car. They debuted that car at Road Atlanta earlier this month. Told us they've got a Dodge in the works as well. But I think for Adam Andretti, it's a case of needing to learn what it takes to be effective at the end of one of these races. He's always fast early.
Yeah, a couple poles right in a row. Same thing at Road Atlanta. We saw a lot of speed. But Adam has a tendency to drive the car very hard as we watch his onboard. He works that steering wheel. He is sliding around. But at the end of the race, it seems that the veterans and Cameron Lawrence are able to have the speed when it counts.
Cool shirt onboard camera for our race leader, Adam Andretti. About 4 car lengths the advantage over Kevin Poitras in the 73 car. Poitras out of Toronto, Canada, in the Post Plastics Ford Mustang. They continue to stretch it out over 3rd through 9th here at Lime Rock.
And we see a tight battle right here. There's a whole group of call. But what I'm really excited about is Kevin Poitras. We haven't seen him up front in that top 2, top 3. He's really having a great start to this race. And who knows, he might be that surprise new winner in the Trans Am Series.
Now, if you're Cameron Lawrence and you've won so many of these races, back-to-back season championships, are you getting frustrated at this point? It's still early in the race. Oh, caution on the speedway. Big trouble at the exit of turn 1. Justin and Joe Napoleon, the father and son Turnkey Industries Chevrolet drivers. That's Justin there. The window net still up, it looks like, in the 90 car. They got together and hit the tires pretty hard.
And it looks like significant damage. You know, father, son, this is going to be a long trip home to Texas. We haven't seen what happened, but both cars out.
Got another look at it for you. Let's take one more view. You're on board here in the 91 of Joe Napoleon, and they slam each other.
It looks like Justin may have got in too deep or maybe even had a brake failure there. He was all the way inside up against the curb, trying to avoid contact, locked up the rear tires at the last second and spun into Joe.
Turnkey Industries onboard camera there from Justin's car. That was a hard hit indeed. Looked like Joe just didn't know his son was on the inside.
Joe had no idea that Justin would be coming in with that type of speed. He even left a little bit of room, but very unfortunate for both of those guys.
When you climb the curbing like that and put the right sides on the grass, that's not going to have a good ending most of the time.
And just before that, what happened is you heard the brakes lock up on Justin, and then that was it. It just took off.
Hard to explain that one to the rest of the family. The rollbacks are out, everybody's okay. We'll come right back for a restart in the 3-dimensional Muscle Car Challenge at Lime Rock Park. Welcome back to Lime Rock Park. Trans Am Racing on CBS Sports Network. The 3-dimensional Muscle Car Challenge under caution for an incident involving Justin and Joe Napoleon. Let's get it downstairs to Shay for more on the incident.
Well, guys, it's not a great day for Napoleon Racing. Unfortunately, what happened to cause this yellow was Justin in the number 90. Got a little too racy with his father, Joe, in the number 91. Thought he saw an open window where there wasn't one, and now both of their days are done. The crew is just sad because they thought they really had a good chance here. Justin's best finish so far this year, 7th. His dad, 8th. They were both at Homestead International Speedway, hoping to keep up some momentum. Not going to happen today at Lime Rock Park.
You never want to wreck with your teammates. You definitely don't run a wreck with your father. A lot of damage on those race cars.
Hopefully they'll be back very, very soon. Meantime, how about young J.J. Haley? Not feeling well when he strapped into the 99 car today. Getting ready for a restart here at Lime Rock Park. Let's listen in as he talks to his spotter, Michael Self.
Yeah, I just don't have the energy. Simple. You're doing an awesome job for how you feel, bud. I mean, you look smooth. You're maintaining really, really nice. You know, just like I said, just be smart. You be the judge of you here. You know, if you can go and maintain this pace throughout the whole race, I think we'll be really, that's good. You know, that's like a win for today. You're doing an awesome job.
And when you're not feeling well in the race car, the worst time is under caution. When that green flag goes, the adrenaline kicks in and you don't feel anything. So hopefully we'll just have some exciting racing. He'll get back into the rhythm.
Green flag back in the air here at Lime Rock Park. Again, a jailbreak as they head into turn 1. Haley's opened the door there for one of the 74 Ranch Resort entries as they battle inside the top 10 behind Ave and McCavern here in the top 5. Haley on the inside as he heads toward turn number 2, not giving any ground, gets up alongside the 24. Let's get on board with Lawrence Loshak of the Raybestos drivetrain for the 5 car. This great young amateur racer trying to move up from the back of the field as well. Up through the S's. Gar Robinson in the 74, his teammate Shane Lewis, the great road race veteran, in the 72 car, that team out of San Antonio, Texas. Adam Andretti continues to lead. There's Cameron Lawrence, the points leader, in the Mopar, car number 1, back in 3rd in front of Ave.
And Tony Ave is applying the pressure to Cameron Lawrence. And like I said, Cameron's been one of those guys that controls the race. Even if he's in second, he has the pace, the challenge for the win. I feel like he's really struggling today at Lime Rock Park.
One of the questions, I think, today as we watch this battle for third, Ave in the 70 right behind as we get on board with Lawrence in the car number 1. Can Adam Andretti continue to be smooth all day and close the deal here? He's obviously got the pace, but we've seen him run the tires off these race cars several times.
You know, I think Adam does. Adam will get to victory lane this year. Maybe it's today here at Lime Rock Park. This is a track where you can overdrive your race car. There's not a lot of room for error, so when you make a mistake, it can be costly.
On board the Ford, the 24 McCavern out of Vermont. Up behind J.J. Haley in the 99, the Braun Ability Chevrolet, one of the Mike Cope team cars. Haley running 5th, McCavern in 6th. Down the hill, back to the front straightaway. There's McCavern in the gray 24 car. 274 Ranch Resort entries right behind. Back to Lawrence, who's third. Bird's eye view of the fight for the lead now as Poitras takes a look at Andretti.
And this is the first time we've seen Kevin Poitras in the lead in the TA2 category.
Poitras taking over from Adam Andretti on the short chute, heading to turn 2. Kevin Poitras in the Post Plastics car. Doing a great job as he heads up the hill to the S's.
Cameron Lawrence has now closed the gap to those 2 leading cars.
Poitras your leader. He opens up 3 or 4 car lengths on Adam Andretti. First lead change of the day at the conclusion of a lap. We're working lap number 23 of 67 today here at Lime Rock Park. In trouble for the 30, Joe Starobski. The Last Chance Chevrolet running at the back of the field today. Starobski in the dirt, gets it back on the racetrack, and he will continue under green. Get your tires a little dirty here at Lime Rock. Takes you a while to clean them off.
Yeah, we see a lot of cars dropping wheels coming down this front straightaway here as Tony Ave is putting the pressure on Cameron Lawrence.
Three-dimensional services group running order, top of your screen. Keep up with where your favorite driver is running today in the three-dimensional services Muscle Car Challenge. Lawrence and Ave and J.J. Haley, 3rd, 4th, and 5th in play here at Lime Rock Park, and they've got pressure from behind. Dylan McCavern right there as well. They've got a tightly bunched group, the first 8 or 9 tucked tightly together here.
And if you remember, Rick, Ed Rodeland and Dylan McCavern was very fast, leading on the last lap, had a rear end issue, and gave that lead up to Cameron Lawrence. So he's been very strong all year, challenging for wins. He is going to have to execute some passes here to get to the front.
Yeah, the track bar snapped on that 24 car, and McCavern was somehow able to wrestle the car home to a good finish, and it cost him a chance at victory. I can guarantee you they've gone over every bit of the rear suspension in that car here at Lime Rock this weekend.
Absolutely. You just don't get that so close to victories and then give them away.
Speaking of close, Cameron Lawrence has closed back in on Adam Andretti on board the 1 car. Poitras your leader, Andretti in the Anchor 44 directly in front, that Ford Mustang. Here comes Lawrence to the inside. Looks like he's got 2nd.
And that was a pass with authority. That hole opened up, and Cameron Lawrence drove that Dodge right into the hole.
The cool shirt onboard look from Adam Andretti's 44 car as he watches Lawrence scoot away.
And this is what we talked about early on in the race. Adam Andretti having so much speed early on in the race, but as you can see, he is struggling and losing spots quickly.
Oh, and he loses a spot to Tony Ave. And here goes Haley to the inside. McCavern as well. Let's get it downstairs to Shea.
I spoke with Tony Ave's crew a few minutes ago, who said that the 2010 and 2011 TA champ is very happy with his car today. The number 70 has been moving up through the field all day, and the Ford Mustang is currently in 3rd. He's looking to get around Cameron Lawrence, and guys, with this car that he has right now, according to his crew, he feels like he can do a lot better than that. He feels that this is a car that can take him to the front and take him to the checkers.
That may be bad news for the rest of the competition. If Tony Ave is happy with where his race car is at, I would think that by the end of this race, he's going to be in the front.
Meantime, what's happened to Adam Andretti in the cool shirt ECC Ford? On the pole, led laps early. He is backsliding big time now.
Yeah, it sounded right there like there might have been a little bit of a motor issue, not having full power down the straightaways. Not sure exactly what caused that, but Adam Andretti is moving to the back very quickly.
He's got to be frustrated starting on pole. He's got a great personality, great outlook on the sport, wants to be successful, following the family footsteps. John Andretti's brother, son of Aldo, nephew of Mario. Up front, meantime, Kevin Poitras, the leading light of the Poitras family right now, the Post Plastics Ford. He is out in front. Cameron Lawrence, though, closing in.
And this is what we see Cameron Lawrence do, is by halfway, 3/4 through the race, he is moving to the front. So nothing new there, but Kevin Poitras is doing a great job leading this field.
Pole sitter Adam Andretti still struggling with the 44 car. Here's Shea Adam.
It looked like it was going to be Adam Andretti's race to lose today, starting from pole. Unfortunately, the gremlins have gotten to him, and his Ford Mustang is stuck in 3rd gear. The crew is trying to tell him things to fix it, to make it better, but at this point, it looks like a lost cause.
Not a lot that Adam can do when the transmission's broke like that. Stuck in 3rd gear at a tight, twisty track like Lime Rock Park is going to make it a challenge getting off these corners.
If you recall, as one car puts a wheel off coming out of the front stretch, Adam Andretti had gearbox problems in the 44 at Road Atlanta just a couple of weeks ago.
And these Ford Mustangs are new for them, and so there's gremlins. You're always got to work through these bugs. Obviously, they have a common denominator problem, the gearbox, and they will address that.
Pressure meantime, Gar Robinson attacking here against McCavern in the 24. This is for 5th spot. McCavern out of Vermont, Robinson out of Texas. Everybody trying to get closer to race leader Kevin Poitras out of Ontario, Canada. Good battling up front here at Lime Rock Park. Talk about historic tracks in Trans Am. One of the founding tracks of this series back in the 1960s, more than 50 seasons ago. The all-time greats in Trans Am racing, Tommy Kendall, Mark Donohue, and many more have raced here in front of fans like this at Lime Rock Park in northwestern Connecticut. Poitras is your leader, Lawrence and Ave, and the rest of the top 3. We'll be right back at Lime Rock.
Trans Am Racing on CBS Sports Network is being brought to you by Racing Electronics, #1 in race communications worldwide. And by Replay XD. The new Prime X is here. Record, replay.
Back at Lime Rock Park for Trans Am, America's Road Racing Series. Caution on the speedway. What's that, a shovel on the racetrack?
I've seen a lot of debris caution. That is my first, a shovel on the racetrack.
And I've known plenty of drivers who've dug themselves deep holes, but I've never seen anything like that either in all my years of doing this. All right, track workers will run out and retrieve the shovel here at the entrance to turn 1. Meantime, while we were away, trouble as well for Gar Robinson out of San Antonio. Started 6th, running 6th in the 74 Ranch Resort Chevrolet. At the exit of 1, let's take a look from Adam Andretti's on board.
And Gar just got in a little bit deep, trying to pass Adam. Almost collided with Tony Buffamani there, running in the top 10. Very close calls for all 3 cars right there.
Well, let's show you Gar's on board as he gets up over the curve.
Man, that could have been devastating for both Gar and Tony Buffamani. Luckily, just fired back up, and he's back into the race.
Adam Andretti went going through the grass and the dirt, gets back on the racetrack in the wounded 44. Andretti somehow able to stay relatively close to the lead group. Getting set for a restart here at Lime Rock Park in beautiful northwest Connecticut. Fantastic weather for racing today. Safety car heads for pit road. Poitras is your restart leader in the 73. Here's Lawrence and Ave bolting to the inside as they head for turn 1.
Ave through the grass, 3 wide, down into turn 1, trying to get Cameron Lawrence.
Haley, Shane Lewis back there, and Lawrence goes around. Trouble for a couple of cars. That's Loshak in the 5 and the 9 car. Keith Prosiak from Illinois goes off the course as well. Loshak and Lawrence both gas their race cars, get back on the racetrack, but they've lost a ton of track position. Here comes Prosiak as well.
Yeah, Cameron Lawrence there was fighting hard with Tony Ave. Tony Ave was clearly inside. Not enough room for 2 cars. Cameron might have crowded him a little bit. Contact. You'll have that on the restarts. Both guys pushing hard, trying to get a victory.
Shane Lewis able to avoid trouble, but he was nearly in the soup as well. Here's Lawrence. From his onboard look, doesn't look like there's any contact with Ave's car at all, but maybe a little contact with the 73.
So much happening, going down turn 1, funneling hard on the brakes. Contact definitely. What started it, what caused it, we're not sure, but we know that Tony Ave is fighting hard for this win.
Ave and the white Mustang, the 70 car, putting all kinds of heat on Kevin Poitras. We are past the 50-lap mark, less than 20 to go at Lime Rock Park. Before the start, Shea talked to Tony Ave about the resurgence of Trans Am.
I love racing Trans Am because of the format, right? 100 miles, no pit stops, wide open the whole way. So we're really excited to see how it's been growing. A group of us got together and tried to bring this thing back. Really are a little surprised that it's gotten as big as fast as it has, but I think that just shows you that the history of Trans Am is going to lead to a great future.
Tony Abe, a guy who's been successful behind the wheel of just about every kind of race car there is, even snowmobiles, loves this series, heavily involved in building cars in all divisions and taking care of them. And he's on the charge, looking for his first win of the season today in TA2.
And Tony Abe is worried about one thing right now, and that is getting to the lead.
Big battles for position behind the rail. Oh, trouble again, the 30 car. Joe Starowski off again in the Last Chance Racing Machine. Had problems out of one earlier. This time out of the final corner, he gets off in the grass. Doesn't look like that'll bring out a caution with 17 laps to go today here at Lime Rock Park.
There's not too many times that you can get off course on the downhill and not have damage. Very lucky to get away with that.
Poitras with about a car-and-a-half length lead over Abe as they start to pull away from the third place machine. That's Dylan McCavern back there in the 24. Behind him, you've got Haley, the 52, starting to rumble. That's young Scott Heckert, age 21, out of Richfield, Connecticut, about 60 miles down the road in Fairfield County. These two young guns with a great fight going for fourth spot here. And how about a shout out for Adam Andretti, a young veteran of this Trans Am 2 category, somehow getting that 44 back up to 6th.
I'm not sure how he's done it. Maybe that transmission has freed itself back up under caution, wiggling things around, but he has speed back in that Ford Mustang and moving to the front.
And the caution giving Adam a chance to cool the tires off as well, if that was an issue for him, in the 44. Closing in on Haley, there's Buffamani. The 72 of Lewis, who got by Steve Kent here in the green 07, the BC Components car. So Kent doing a nice job in the top 10 here as well. Leaders up through the S's at Lime Rock Park. You know you're running out of time. If you're going to make a move to the front, you've got to get it done here soon.
This is where you're pushing as hard as you can, but this is also where you make mistakes. You can't get sloppy at the end of the race. You have to hit your marks. Got to get right to that point where you're on the edge of control, but you can't put a wheel wrong at Lime Rock Park.
That yellow 97, Tom Sheehan out of Auburn, New Hampshire, regional competitor here as well, doing a nice job today. The lime green Dodge, Joe Stevens out of Minnesota, rookie contender, Cameron Lawrence, his teammate, and there's Lawrence. Went off in turn 1 several laps ago, gets back on the track, he's running 14th.
Yeah, Cameron lost a lot of ground with that contact in turn 1, and you got to think championship for Cameron Lawrence. He's got to get as many spots as he can. Every point counts when it gets to the end of the season.
Smoothly through turn 1, Joe Starowski in the 30, who's been off a couple of times. We thought he was done for the day earlier, back on the course out of Shelton, Connecticut. Also very much a regional contender. Lime Rock Park, his home track as well.
And we see a battle for the lead. Tony Abe has just took over the race lead.
Abe finding room to the inside, takes over in the Lamers Motorsports Ford, the 70 car, and we'll see how strong he is. Maybe he was being held up by Poitras.
Well, when you get to the lead and you start to stretch it out, it really deflates the competition. You just got past, you lost your momentum. If Tony Abe can put 1 or 2 good laps together right now, it'd be smooth sailing to the end.
5th fast qualifier, the former Trans Am champion, moving into TA2 this season, and Abe takes over here at Lime Rock Park. First time this season he's been able to put that car into the lead. Poitras will dog him in the 73. McCavern is 3rd in the 24. Rest of the top 10, you got Buffamani in 7th, Shane Lewis in 8th, Tom Sheehan in the 97. Running in 10th right now, but the 2 leaders with 14 to go. A great fight coming to that rise at the end of the hill here, Michael McDowell.
And the front tires come off the ground.
Unbelievable stuff. Abe, your leader, right back at Lime Rock. Back at Lime Rock Park in Lakeville, Connecticut. Trans Am coverage today here on the CBS Sports Network with 3-dimensional muscle car challenge for Trans Am 2. Alongside Michael McDowell, I'm Rick Benjamin Cheyenne with our coverage on pit road. For our 3rd spot, Scott Heckert, local driver, NASCAR young gun at age 21. His first road racing experience in these cars, putting tons of pressure on McCavern. What a great job he's doing today.
And what's really fun is we have such a diverse group of race car drivers in the Trans Am Series. A lot of young guns, guys that look like they're not even old enough to have a driver license, going against the veterans like Tony Abe. So this is a great group of guys that are getting a lot of experience and gaining more and more experience as they go.
Right behind him, Haley, the teenager in the 99 car. Dylan McCavern not exactly long in the tooth either, in 3rd spot right now. On board here with Heckert, doing a terrific job in this Mike Cope car, the 52. He is from the area here, has come out of the Skip Barber series, so he's got Lime Rock experience and spent a lot of time in go-karting as well here. But in these heavier Trans Am 2 sedans, I'm very impressed.
Yeah, doing a great job. Like you said, a Skip Barber car, very light, nimble. These are heavy cars, sliding around, lots of power, 500 horsepower the rear wheels, bias ply tire, a very different machine than what he's used to driving.
Last year, a couple of wins in the NASCAR K&N Pro Series East for the youngster out of Ridgefield, so very impressive in Trans Am 2 today. Right up behind McCavern, solidly in the top 5, but Abe continuing to add to his lead over Poitras in the 73.
Abe's just stretching it out. He's just clicking off these laps like they're qualifying laps, getting to the end of this race.
Tony Buffomani in the 34 car in front of Shane Lewis. There's Haley in the Braun Ability 99. Back on board with the youngster here on the front stretch.
And like we mentioned earlier, JJ's struggling. He's not feeling well. It's a very physical racetrack. Takes a lot out of you. He's done a great job to manage this race and keep that car in the top 5.
And how about Adam Andretti? We've documented his problems today. The pole sitter led the early laps, got off in turn 1. We heard from Shea Adam on pit road earlier that he had his gearbox jammed in 3rd gear. Michael, either he's gotten it fixed or it's no issue for him. Here's Buffomani in front of Lewis.
Yeah, a great recovery for Adam Andretti, but you know he's going to be disappointed being so fast early on, wants to get the victory lane. Not the performance he wants, but they are very quick and they will get the victory lane.
And to show you how tough TA2 is, Shane Lewis has won races all around the world in all kinds of high-level sports car competition. He's struggling to be a top 10 car here at Trans Am 2.
Ultra competitive. We've seen this class be very tight, very competitive. Like you said, Shane Lewis has won a lot of races, more races than I have, and he is pushing hard just to be in that top 10.
Tony Buffomani and Lewis with a great battle going back around 7th, 8th, 9th. Behind Andretti, who runs in 6th. Steve Kent back there in that 07 car. Lewis trying to hold off Buffomani as the laps wind down. Here in turn 1 at Lime Rock, it's such a big sweeper. You might dive in tight at the entrance, but midway through, the fast way is to be midway up the track, isn't it?
And what's really challenging here, like Buffomani, you can see, to protect that line, to not give that guy the opportunity to stuff the nose in there, you actually are losing speed because it's not the line that you want to be on. Very easy to leave the door open here. The momentum gets broken, very simple, and if you just put your nose there, you can get a guy loose. So you got to be careful, you got to protect, but at the same time, you don't want to be losing the ground to the cars in front of you.
Part of the challenge and excitement of TA2 racing, that battle between Ford, Chevrolet, and Dodge. You've got a Mustang there in the hands of Buffomani, the Best Line Lubricants 34. The Chevrolet of Lewis, the 74 Range Resort Camaro, trailing the Mustang of Adam Andretti, trailing the Chevrolet of J.J. Haley as we watch 4th, 5th, 6th, and 7th go at it here at Lime Rock Park in Connecticut.
And the series has done a great job to take these manufacturers, very diverse background, and make it as competitive as it is. That is what's really fun about this. Yeah, the cars look different, they sound a little bit different, but on the racetrack, the performance is very, very equal.
Trans Am next goes to New Jersey Motorsports Park down in the southern part of New Jersey later on this summer. We'll pick our coverage back up on 4th of July weekend at Brainerd Motorsports Park in Minnesota, just north of the Twin Cities. It'll be a great event, the Ryan Industries Trans Am battle up there, as we watch race leader Tony Abe leaning hard on the gas on the front straightaway. On board with Abe, you see a great driver at work, grabbing a lower gear into turn 1.
He looks very cool, calm, relaxed. That's what you expect out of a veteran, especially leading this race. He knows exactly what he needs to do to get that 70 Ford Mustang into victory lane.
Abe over Poitras and McCavern as the laps wind down at Lime Rock. Back to Lime Rock Park, coverage of the three-dimensional Muscle Car Challenge today on the CBS Sports Network. Alongside Michael McDowell, I'm Rick Benjamin, Shea Adam with our coverage on pit road. There's the Paragon Ford, the 52 of Scott Heckert out of Richfield, Connecticut. Nicely in the top 5 at his first career Trans Am start. K&N East's winner in NASCAR competition at age 21. Out of the Skip Barber ranks, he's gotten by J.J. Haley to take over 4th.
We see a lot of young guys getting that training that they need. We mentioned it earlier. These guys are going to be on road courses later this year in a different series. This is just helping them be more prepared.
Heard from J.J. Haley at the top of the broadcast saying, hey, yeah, I'm doing this because I want to become a great road racer as he pursues his dream of getting to the top rung of racing in the United States. Adam Andretti wants the same thing. He's come back. He was as deep in the field as 10th. He's overcome mechanical problems and an off-course excursion to get back into the top 6. This may be one of the best drives we've seen Adam Andretti turn in.
Absolutely, you know, falling way back out of the top 10 the last half of this race, got the problem figured out, been charging to the front, but as the laps wind down, it's going to get harder and harder to make up that ground.
Dylan McCavern, one of our Willwood Brakes Rookie of the Year contenders in the 24 out of Vermont. If he had not had a difficult opener at Sebring back in the month of March, he'd be right in the thick of the points chase right now because he's been super strong since then.
Definitely. Dylan's been very fast. He's been challenging for the lead, challenging for wins, so close at Road Atlanta, and he's been doing a great job here today.
One of those young drivers we've talked about since the start of the season. The future of Trans Am racing very much in the hands of drivers like Poitras and Dylan McCavern in second spot. But Tony Ave, the race leader, says, hey, don't count me out just because I've been doing this a long time. And Ave showing his heels right now to the rest of the field here today.
And Ave's just got to manage this last little bit of lap traffic, not make any mistakes. At the end of the race, when you're winding down, you start thinking about things, you overanalyze it. He's just got to hit his marks, do his job, and bring that car to victory.
Coming up on 5 laps to go for the race leaders. Ave out in front of the 70. Poitras, who led a bundle of laps today in the 73, runs second. McCavern hasn't had a sniff of the lead yet of the 24, but not for lack of trying. He's been one of those drivers who's been willing to take a look to the inside coming down to turn 1 on restarts.
Absolutely. You got to capitalize when you have those runs, but you got to make them count. We've seen a lot of mistakes here today. We see Cameron Lawrence back out of the top 10, things like this that we don't normally see. Lime Rock Park is a challenging race course for all drivers, but in particular when you have 23 cars battling into these tight corners, there's going to be mistakes. The driver that makes the less amount of mistakes is going to be victorious today.
Tony Ave with some lap traffic to navigate. The lap car there on the outside, not giving ground easily to the race leader, and that's probably about the only thing that Ave would have to worry about at this point is slower traffic.
Tony Ave just got to focus on hitting his marks. He has this race if he doesn't make a mistake.
Ave lapping by the 50 of Bruce Nesbitt out of Chicago, Illinois. Bruce, a longtime Trans Am competitor, coming back to the series this year in TA2 as well because he saw and heard all the fun these guys were having in Trans Am action. Here is Ave, meantime, flying up through the S's. For second spot, McCavern up alongside Poitras, trying the grass and gets by.
Through the grass, Dylan McCavern just pulled off an amazing pass on Kevin Poitras.
So Dylan McCavern, who dogged the former race leader in the 73 for a long, long time. Watch this move.
And Kevin got a little bit loose, got crossed up, broke his concentration. Through the grass, outside pass, up the hill. That's amazing.
That's McCavern, I think, Michael, making up his mind. He's not backing out of the gas for anything.
The commitment was high, absolutely. He saw an opportunity and he pounced.
Coming up, 2 laps to go. 2 to go as Heckert moves by the 50 of Nesbitt, hauling down into 1. Really impressed with what Heckert has done. When you get into a different kind of race car for the first ever time, I don't care whether you've been to the track once or 100 times, that's not easy to do.
Yeah, and he's having a smooth, consistent, nice day, a debut that you want to have, no contact, running in top 5, and he's going to be able to build on that. And that's what's important as a young driver. You want to build momentum and confidence.
J.J. Haley, meantime, trying to hold off Adam Andretti and hang on to a top 5 spot. Buffamani back there at 7th. Shane Lewis in 8th. They've had a great fight going for a long time as well.
Yeah, Buffamani and Shane Lewis have been at it, I think, for the last 25 laps. Shane has not given up. Coming to 2 laps to go, he wants to get that last spot. It's only for 9th, but to a driver, it doesn't matter. You've been working so hard. Coming to the white flag, I got to do it.
And Lewis will look to the inside of Buffamani. Shane knows he's running out of time if he's going to get that pass completed on the Best Line Lubricants 34. Into 1. Lewis has got him this time.
And very deep on the brakes. Shane executed that perfectly.
Shane Lewis, we'll see if he's got anything for the 5th and 6th place cars now in the final lap and a half today here at Lime Rock Park as he gets by Buffamani. And you see that sometimes in road course racing. You get held up behind a guy, you're faster than that car, but because of the nature of road racing, maybe you can't get by for a while. Once you clear that car, much like we saw Ave do when he got the lead, you're able to stretch it out.
Well, your overall speed is sometimes dictated by the car in front of you. Where you're strong is not necessarily where your competition is strong. So when you have that clean air and open road, you can do what Tony Ave's doing right here and stretching out that lead.
Ave sees the white flag. Less than 1 to go for the former champion of Trans Am. Down into turn 1 here at Lime Rock Park in northwestern Connecticut. McCavern in 2nd, Poitras in 3rd, and for Ave, it's just a matter of keeping it on the blacktop now for about another mile. McCavern with 3 car lengths in 2nd spot over the 3rd place machine of Poitras. Ave up through the S's one final time today, clears that hill. One slower car in front, but he probably won't come in contact with that car over the final couple of quarters here. Great turnout of fans at Lime Rock Park this weekend, one of the historic tracks for Trans Am racing. And Tony Ave will add his name to the Lime Rock Park record books as he flashes down the front straightaway. Checkered flag is in the air, and Tony Ave is your winner today at Lime Rock. Meantime, great battling here for sixth, Andretti and Shane Lewis.
Shane Lewis putting the pressure on the downhill. Adam Andretti coming to the line, but Adam will hold on to that sixth spot.
Adam Andretti takes sixth behind J.J. Haley, who finishes fifth, not feeling well in the 99. Seventh to Shane Lewis in the 72. But a happy group of winning crew members on pit road, and Tony Ave will pick up the checkered flag in the three-dimensional services Muscle Car Challenge. We'll hear from the winner in Victory Lane when we come back.
Trans Am Racing on CBS Sports Network is being brought to you by Three Dimensional Services Group. Prototype, production, proven.
Back at Lime Rock Park in northwestern Connecticut, the three-dimensional Muscle Car Challenge is complete. Tony Ave, the winner in Trans Am 2. The fans had to love what they saw here today. Michael, when a veteran like Tony Ave wins, it's always an exciting time.
Absolutely. Getting out of the car, you can see the excitement. Winning never gets old. We're going to hear from Tony Ave. He did a great job here at Lime Rock Park, beating all the young guns that are coming after that championship.
After starting fifth to Victory Lane, here's Shay.
Tony Ave, you won here in 2010, you won here in 1992, and now you've done it again. Congratulations.
Just had to save the car there for the end, and Cameron had kind of a slower car, but was using a lot of racetrack. And then on a restart, ran me in the grass here and up on the curb, and basically spun himself out. So I really don't care if they're happy about it or not.
How good does it feel to be back in the victory lane after all this time?
Good, good. I love racing here, and it's proves the old guys still have a little left in them.
Tony Ave's got a lot left in the tank. There's no question about it. The youngsters, McCavern, there's the veteran Poitras, Hackert and Haley. Great battle for fourth and fifth.
There was great battles throughout the field of the Trans Am 2 category. Cameron Lawrence did a great job to recover to get a top 10 finish.
Tom Sheehan finishes 11th in front of Joe Eben, the team car to Ave's machine. Stevens, Tom West, Lawrence Loshak had that spin in turn one, has to settle for 15th today. Let's head back downstairs to Shay and hear from our runner-up.
Well, it's another second-place finish for this young man, Dylan McEvern. What is it going to take to get you to the top step of that podium?
I think just a little bit of luck. I mean, the car's running fast, the team's doing all they can, but it just seems like we're running out of luck there at the end. I mean, I passed Kevin just a little too late in the race. I think I was actually a little faster than Tony, but just ran out of time there to catch him.
Still get champagne, though.
Oh, yeah. Can't complain with being on the podium. More points is all we want, so gotta send a shout out to the team for doing such a great job, and for my parents as well for providing me awesome opportunities like this.
Youngster from Charlotte, Vermont. Take a look at the points in Trans Am 2, the chase for the three-dimensional Surfaces Trigon Trophy. Lawrence still with a big lead, but McCavern cuts into it a bit.
McCavern's been very consistent the last three races, doing a great job getting on the podium. He is coming for Cameron Lawrence, but Cameron Lawrence, he's a winner, and he's been winning. We're going to see him back in Victory Lane, and we're going to see Adam Andretti in Victory Lane before the end of this year.
Kevin Poitras now up to 6th in the championship standings. He finishes 3rd today. He's with Shay.
Kevin Poitras, excellent effort out there today. You led for a little bit, but ultimately you're bringing the car home in 3rd. Take us through your race.
Well, I had a fast car from the start. It was handling really good. It felt that I was able to hold back a little bit and save the tires for 3/4 of the race. And after that last caution, I developed a bit of a push. I guess I drove it too hard for a couple laps, and I burned up the front tires a bit and developed a push, and it really became a handful at that point. And with Tony Ave and Dylan McEvern approaching me, just made mistakes, and car got a little bit loose at the wrong time, but it was a great race. Everybody kept it pretty clean, and it was a good race. I'm happy to be in 3rd.
All right, so Kevin Poitras excited about finishing on the podium. Trans Am 2 putting on a fantastic show for us today here at Lime Rock Park. Next up for us, we will see you from Brainerd Motorsports Park in Minnesota. That event takes place over July 4th weekend. For Michael McDowell and Shay Adam, I'm Rick Benjamin, congratulating your winner, Tony Ave, in the three-dimensional Services Muscle Car Challenge. Thanks for watching Trans Am on CBS Sports Network.